All right, a very warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, here in Singapore, and also to everyone who is streaming in live from all over the world. A warm welcome to the FIBA Intercontinental Cup 2023 official press day and match draw. Now, this year marks the 33rd edition of the event, and it will be held in Asia for the very first time at the Singapore Sports Hub from the 21st to 24th of September. But not only that, this year we've gone from increasing 4 teams to 6 teams from participating basketball clubs, and here are some of the leagues that they will be from. Firstly, the 2022 Basketball Africa League, the Basketball Champions League 2022 to 2023, Basketball Champions League Americas 2022 to 2023, the NBA G League Ignite. And also invitational teams. We have Al Manama from Bahrain, who are also the winners of the FIBA West Asia Super League, and the Zhejiang Golden Bulls, a team of the Chinese Basketball Association. Now you guys can already imagine how exciting these games are going to be. So here's a little glimpse, a little tease of what to expect this coming September.
Who never dreamed about being a part of history, of leaving a legacy? Who never dreamed about battling teams from different continents, of playing against different styles, different cultures?
For 3, go!
Who never dreamed about taking their club, their fans, their colors to the top? Not just the top of their league, but the top of the world. Who never dreamed of winning trophies? Global trophies.
Oh, nice dribbling. Wow. Oh, you can't say! Oh, it's rejected!
The FIBA Intercontinental Cup enters a new era.
Look at that! We've been waiting for that finally.
History continues in Singapore.
All right, what a thrill it's going to be when it comes to September. And now we move to the next segment where we're going to have a little bit of a conversation with 6 wonderful gentlemen who I will invite up on stage here with me. So please, without further ado, join me in welcoming 3 individuals. Firstly, Patrick Comneno, CEO, Basketball Champions League; Boon Yi To, Deputy CEO, Sports Singapore; and Yazid Osman, Group Head, Events and Placemaking, Singapore Sports Hub. Round of applause. Now, obviously, there are still 3 empty seats, and you'll be wondering who's going to be filling them. Well, we do have 3 basketball ambassadors, but I think it's better you watch exactly who they are. All right, please join me in welcoming Vlade Divac of Serbia, Yi Tianlian of China, and Ian Mahimi of France.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you guys, for those not from Singapore, are having a great time so far in Singapore. All right, so we'll just be firing off some questions to get to know a little bit more about, obviously, what will be happening in September. So I'll open up a question to Patrick, firstly. So Patrick, Singapore obviously is honored to host the FIBA 2023 as a representative of Asia. Could you share more about the reason for coming into Asia for the first time?
No, thank you, and welcome to everyone to this important event. For us at FIBA, the Intercontinental Cup is a very important competition. It signifies the pinnacle of our club competitions, an area that has been of strategic relevance to FIBA over the last years, growing club competitions around the globe. We started the Intercontinental Cup a few years ago with just 2 teams. It's an old tradition that was revamped and revisited by FIBA in 2017, just 2 teams, Latin American and European champions, and over the years it has evolved into a 4-team competition welcoming North America and Africa into the mix. But now it was time for us to go to that next step. Obviously COVID did not allow us to be as global as we would have liked, but now it was the time to welcome Asia into the competition, and of course it made a lot of sense for us to host the event in Asia, and we could not find a better location or a better partner than here in Singapore, which is an epicenter of sport events for the region. It has a culture, it has the identity and the desire to help us. And for us, this has been very important. We are building a long-term partnership. We will be here in Singapore for at least the next 3 editions. So for that, we are very grateful. I want to thank the Sport Singapore government in all their support. I know their chairman, Mr. Kon Yi Tong, is here with us today, and of course their deputy CEO, Mr. To Boon Yi, as well. But of course, we're very grateful to the CASMA with Yasel Osman here helping us on a regular basis. So for us, this is a great partnership. We're looking forward to the first edition next September and to what will follow over the next years.
Yeah, and I think I just want to follow up on you talking about the culture of basketball. Maybe, Bunyi, if I can ask you, I mean, here in Singapore, basketball seems synonymous with our culture. We have a basketball court in almost every estate that we live in. How do you see the FIBA Intercontinental Cup further fueling Singapore's love for basketball?
Well, thank you. And obviously, we are very pleased and delighted to be hosting yet another FIBA event, right? And this is a top-class sporting event that Singapore is very, very happy to host. Coming off recently from hosting the 2nd edition of the FIBA Asia 3X tournament. Talking about Singapore's basketball culture, as you said, there is a basketball court almost in every housing estate. I dare say in every housing estate. And the age group that plays basketball ranges from the very young to the very old. I remember a few years back, we were investigating into the sporting habits of Singaporeans, and there was quite a number of basketball interest group playing community basketball at a grand old age of 60 to 80. Right, so that speaks very well for the basketball culture in Singapore. And when we do our research, it is one of the most participated team sport in Singapore. When we host community level tournaments, school tournaments, we typically have to extend the competition schedule because the interest is really overwhelming. And therefore, in Singapore's case, this presents yet another opportunity for Singapore to demonstrate our ability to host top-class event. And again, I echo Patrick's thanks and kind words about Singapore, and we are very happy to be doing this with our partner, FIBA. Thank you.
Yes, thanks. And talking about holding world-class events, I guess, Yazid, I'm going to ask you, Singapore Sports Hub is no stranger to large-scale sporting events. So could you tease us maybe on what spectators and athletes also can expect this coming September?
I think definitely. I think we are very honored and privileged to host the first FIBA Intercontinental Championship at the Sports Hub and also in Asia. I think for us, we always work hand in glove with both FIBA as well as Sports Singapore to deliver a very exciting, very memorable experience, both inside the stadium and also off the stadium itself. So there's going to be a lot of exciting programs, both at the community level and all at for the players. And I think, of course, they will definitely enjoy what Singapore as a host can offer to them as well.
Yeah, thank you for that. And I guess now I want to shift focus a little bit into finding out more about the games that might be happening. Vlade, if I can ask you firstly, your thoughts on the upcoming Intercontinental season. Do you expect any surprises?
Well, basketball is full of surprises. It's always it's a good competition. I'm very happy to be here today to promote this IOCC tournament. It's very important that teams all around the world have that competition to compete for a #1 spot. So obviously European teams, North and South Americans are good, but I wouldn't be surprised if some underdog teams takes their scalp.
Yeah, and speaking of different teams coming in, Tianlian, Asia is entering ICC for the first time. What are your thoughts on that, and what do you feel about the team as well?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for inviting me to come to Singapore, and I had a great time here. Also, I think it's really important for the Asia basketball and China also, and we have more opportunity to connect with international game experience, and this experience for us really not only national team World Cup Olympics, we have more chance ICC connect with each other in the world. So it's really I'm really excited and really look forward to the tournament.
Yeah, thanks. And perhaps Ian, you're a revered person in your field. If we can ask you, do you have any words of advice to the participating teams, and if you have a prediction, who might come out on top?
First off, thank you. Thanks to you guys, Singapore. First time here in Singapore. This is really amazing. I'm sure to be back. I know it's great. But yeah, words of advice is just like Vlade said. As a competitor, we always strive to, figure out who's the best, right? Who's the best, and this adds another trophy. To many, and another challenge and another opportunity to compete at the highest level. So, my advice is for every player that have the opportunity to be a part of this ICC, to come and give you all and trying to win it all. Because, when you look back now that I just freshly retired, you look at what you accomplished throughout your career, and this is something nice. So, this is a great opportunity for us players and coaches and staff to go and compete. And as far as opinion, I want to say, I was just in Kigali 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I saw Al Ahly be crowned champions of the BAL. So they will be representing Africa here in September, and I'm very, very happy to be represented, or for Al Ahly to represent Africa. But at the same time, when I look at the G League Ignite, and I see the roster and I see what these young guys are capable, it's really hard to gauge, who could win it. And it's a lot of talent that's going to come through. Bonn is really good too, the German team. So it's going to be an exciting competition. Look forward to it. And cross my finger for Al Ahly.
Thank you for that. Since you've touched a little bit about what you're excited to be looking forward, I'd love to hear what the rest of you are. So maybe your one line on what you're most excited for this September, Yazid.
I think September, this is going to be the pinnacle of the September date. Everybody's talking about what's going to happen in Sports Hub, but I think what we want to say is that FIBA ICC is going to be the main pinnacle of sports for the coming months.
Nice. What about you, Patrick? Yeah.
I think for us, it's a very clear launch for the new era of the ICC, expanding into the global footprint and establishing ourselves for the next years here in Singapore. I think that's a real starting point for the new ICC.
Thank you. What about you, Bunyi?
Well, almost every continent on earth will be represented in this tournament.
Yep.
And Singapore is a fantastic city because it's cosmopolitan. We have people from all over the world who live, work, play here. And I look forward to the fans supporting their teams at the tournament. So I think it'll be very exciting.
Yes, thank you. And what about you, Tian?
I'm just excited to, wish I can come back again.
I hope you do. I hope you come back. And what about you, Vlade? Yeah,
Well, it's exciting what FIBA did, to create this tournament, giving players opportunity to be on a higher stage. Obviously, we have World Cup for national teams. This IOCC Cup would be great for the clubs to promote their players.
Yes. All right, well, thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you to our panelists for sharing all of those insights. But now we head into the important part of today, the official draw. Before we do that, let's get acquainted with the 6 teams that will be battling it out for that coveted FIBA Intercontinental Cup trophy. right, and now to officiate the match draw, may I please invite Patrick Comnino, CEO of Basketball Champions League, and Yi Tianlie. I'll hand it over to you guys.
Thank you. Well, now we enter the most relevant part when it comes to finding out how the teams will compete for this coveted trophy of the ICC next September 21st to 24th. You have seen the 6 teams that are placed in the pod in front of Changyang here, and we will now select the teams. There are 2 points to mention. The teams will be placed alternately into groups A and B. So each time a team is drawn, it will go into group A and then group B. There is one restriction in this process. The top 2 seeded teams, the BCL champion, Telecom Basketbol, and the BCLA Americas champion, Franca from Brazil, they will need to be separated into 2 different groups. Otherwise, it's a straightforward draw, and we can proceed. Let's shuffle, and let's start. Shuffle well. So the first team drawn is Ceci Franca from Brazil. They are the BCL America's recent champions. They were actually the first team to qualify for this ICC. The BCLA final was held in April. They beat their compatriots from Brazil, Flamengo, and now we have the first team drawn for this season's ICC. It is Ceci Franca, and they will go to Group A. Let's shuffle once again. Next team drawn is Zhejiang Golden Bulls from the CBA. It is the first time we have the opportunity to invite a team from the CBA in this event. The Golden Bulls, they were runners-up in the CBA last year, and it is a pleasure to have them participate in the first time a Chinese team participates in the FIBA Intercontinental Cup, and they will, of course, go into Group B. Let's continue. Next team drawn is the NBA G League Team Ignite. So this is the first time Team Ignite participates in this competition. In the past, we used to have the G League champions, but now we have the opportunity to invite Team Ignite. It is a development program for players that will be drafted into the future of the NBA, and they are competing all year long, participating in the NBA G League, and of course participating and representing the G League in the FIBA Intercontinental Cup, and they will join Ceci Franca into Group A. Let's continue. Next team drawn is Al Manama from Bahrain. They are the recent winners of the FIBA West Asia Super League that just took place and was concluded last weekend with a final 8 stage in Dubai. So we have Al Manama, a very well-respected team from Bahrain, entering into Group B. We continue the last 2 teams. Let's find out which will go into Group A and which will go into Group B. And it is Al Ahly from Egypt. They are the recent champions of the Basketball Africa League. They beat AS Douane from Senegal into the finals that took place in Kigali a few weeks ago. It is the second time in the last 3 years that an Egyptian team wins the Basketball African League, and Al Ahly, they will go into Group A. And last but not least, everything has gone well, and it should be Telecom Basket's Bonn, BCL champions, first European trophy for Basketball Bonn. They beat Hapoel Jerusalem in a very exciting Final Four that was held in Malaga, Spain, a few weeks back in early May. So that, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the technical part of the draw. Thank you very much for all your support. I will have the opportunity to quickly recap. In Group A, we will have Ceci Franca from Brazil, Team Ignite representing North America and the NBA G League, and Al Ahly from Egypt. And in Group B, we will have the Zhejiang Golden Bulls from the CBA, Al Manaman from Bahrain, and Telecom Bonn from Germany. This, ladies and gentlemen, concludes our draw, and Abraham, please welcome back on stage for the closing remarks.
Firstly, a round of applause to Patrick and to Chen-Len for officiating the draw. I want to wish all the teams that will be participating this September all the best of luck. And we've come to the end of today. So from us here in Singapore, thank you so much, and we'll see you from the 21st to 24th of September at the Singapore Sports Hub. Thank you.